Hi there everybody, Peter of England here, bringing you an update on my previous two videos. One of them which was taken down. That was part one, taken down within I think about 48 hours to 72 hours because it touched on some truths that the government, the political machine and the globalist Zionist elite don't want you to be made aware of. So this video that I'm making now, I'm doing it because of sheer frustration. I'm so fed up of listening to the dialogue that's being continuously pumped into people's minds globally. And so I thought I would address one or two things that are particularly pertinent to the United Kingdom, but are pertinent in effect by association then with everywhere else in the world. What people aren't asking themselves is how can this so-called virus, be propagated and dressed up as being something that is so debilitating to the human immune system that the only known cure for it can possibly be a medical cure that's originating out of some laboratory run by Bill Gates and the World Health Organization, or it's something that needs to be introduced into the system by a vaccine. Now, this is the problem at the moment. We have had all our rights and our ability to speak out freely as we wish, because of the social media platforms run by the private corporatocracy and the giants of industry. So if we mention the V word, if we mention the FG word, there's a very good chance that we get our content taken down. So what I'm wanting to address for the UK particularly, because that's my home country, is I just seen something today in the press, and what it stated is that the British government, through the British Medical Association and the National Health Service, are trying to organise hundreds of thousands of individuals who are going to be what's called tracers. Quote, an army, I think it's in the Times today, army of thousands to help track coronavirus victims. So this is being rolled out in New York as well by the mayor of New York, Cuomo. So you've got to ask yourself, when these announcements and these rollouts are made, how come it seems to happen in the same time in so many various countries? Cuomo says that Bloomberg, the ex-mayor of New York, he's been liaising with mayors and governors around the world so that they can bring in these so-called steps to help alleviate this pandemic. Now, the problem with this, what is happening is they're causing a medical mafia to appear. This is the problem. Now you're going to have gloved, masked NHS and medical aid workers badged going around telling you what you can and can't do. So they're turning all these countries now clandestinely, slowly, bit by bit, into regions that are patrolled by a medical mafia. And so these jobs worths are going to be out there, and by definition the people that they're recruiting are the people who lust for a type of power, authority, position, uniform and everything that goes with that. It's the same as recruiting traffic wardens or people who are there to act as security guards and security personnel. They like their position, they like the power, because what do you do with power when you have it? You use it and then you abuse it. So within the United Kingdom, UK people, citizens, shout out to me. What the fuck is happening with your political system? How can the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, end up with a symptoms of a cold or whatever they say he has, because certainly it ain't a virus, and he's now disappeared off the platform? We have now a proxy Prime Minister in the form of this guy Dominic Raab in position, telling people what to do and what not to do. So in ostensibly what you have is you've had someone who's taken over the government. Now ask yourself why. Is this playing so that Boris can retreat into the undergrowth and keep out of the way for something that he's maybe not agreeing with, or to resurface later? But it's very, very strange how someone like him has suddenly been taken off the platform and off the public speaking role. You have now people like, Chris Whitty, who is in charge of the medical prognostications for the country, saying that things aren't going to get better in the UK for around about 18 months. They don't know when or how, but it's all going to be terrible. They're distancing you. They're making you stay apart from each other. Anthony Fauci, Bill Gates, the same message coming from the New World Order, Zionist, Khazarian elite. That's what they're pressing on you. Fear, fear, fear. Now, we're all told love is the answer. We're all told in almost every ideology, every religion, every scripture, every sacred teaching on the planet that love is the answer. Love will get us through. But what is being preached? What is being taught? You've got to be fearful of your neighbor. You've got to close yourself down. You can't go and have religious meetings. You can't speak to God in any type of congregational format. So what they're telling you is creating problems. By isolating you, they are closing down, in addition to the already bombarded immune system, your immune system even further. Why? Why are no alternative medical properties being discussed? And those few that are discussed get trashed immediately. Why are all the mainstream media and all the editors of all these newspapers, like The Sun, The Guardian, The Times, The Daily Telegraph, Metro News, The Washington Post, and all the other posts from Singapore Times through the Times of India, they're all preaching the same message. Fear, 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 fear. How can it be? Wake up, people. Ask yourself, how can this be, unless it has been rehearsed, coordinated, and deliberately orchestrated and choreographed to pour out? So the only thing they're saying to you that's going to cure this, and they're saying it repeatedly and repeatedly, you cannot get back to a normal way of life until you have been vaccinated. The vaccines destroy your immune system, and you are shaking hands with the devil. You're accepting the mark of the beast if you allow that nanoparticled rubbish to be put into your system. You might think it's not going to do you too much harm, but you've taken the king's shilling. You've shaken hands with the devil and sold your soul if you allow yourself to be vaccinated. Wake up to the realities of what's going on. Why are we not looking at things like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and an almost primal panacea, vitamin C? Why are no people talking about it? Why isn't the media just trying to explore every possible avenue for a cure? You know why? They want the vaccine in you. So they're promoting nothing but fear. So I'm calling out all of those in public positions, whether it's Bill Gates, whether it's Fauci, whether it's Chris Whitty, whether it's Dominic Raab, whether it's any other member of the government, whether it's anyone out there that is promoting the fact that there is a virus that is causing death to people. These people I am marking and saying, when this is all proved to be what it is, the biggest hoax and the biggest challenge to mankind ever perpetrated on it, then you are going to be held accountable. And as long as I've got breath in my body, and as long as I've got a good working pair of lungs and people hopefully to support me, you are going to be brought to justice for crimes against humanity, crimes against the planet, and crimes against the universe, which is a larger thing for you to actually have to contend with, because there's a lot of responsibility resting on the despicable acts that you're trying to perpetrate. So all of the people are going to be held accountable no matter where. So vaccines, they're looking to make vaccination compulsory. They're looking to make the wearing of masks compulsory. there's a bigger thing that I want to just touch on while I try and keep this video down to 10-12 minutes, and that is something that many people might not be aware of, but go and have a look at what's happening at the moment with an operation called SpaceX. That's Elon Musk's organization. Elon Musk, the guy who's bringing you the lovely, friendly Tesla electric motor cars. Well, on the 22nd of April, SpaceX, with its Starlink system, has just launched a Falcon 9 rocket to deliver around about, I think it's 40 satellites into Earth orbit. It's the 7th batch of satellites that he's sent up. And currently, the number of satellites that they have deployed to produce what's called a broadband internet mega constellation is around 420. So that's how many just SpaceX alone, with Elon Musk and his cronies, have launched into the atmosphere around our planet. The next stage is to take it to 800. Then they want to go to 12,000 before the final request for planning, as they call it, allows them to go to 30,000 satellites. Ask yourself, what do they want 30,000 satellites in low and medium Earth orbit broadcasting broadband frequencies at you, to you, no matter where you are? That's going on. Research it now. Look it up. The 5G cabling is going in everywhere. Whether you're in France, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in Italy at the moment, the roads are quiet. The only people on the street are cabling guys. So this cable guy isn't going to be delivering anything to you like Netflix or Amazon Prime. They're going to be delivering things to you which are not very good for your health. So people, please wake the fuck up. It is a big agenda. They are imprisoning you. They've taken all your human rights away from you. They've got you locked down, which is an expression they usually use in military facilities and prisons. They've got you all frightened from each other. They've got people like Lady Gaga, Elton John, Curtis Smith, ex from Tears for Fears, and every other fucking clown in the music industry, inevitably, which have sold their souls to the devil in order for their success and their monetary escalation anyway. So they've rolled them all out, and they're doing this nonsense about singing and being at home, and we're all a global citizenry community. It's diabolical. It really is, and people should be able to see through it. And why you can't, I don't know. I'm very frustrated with these videos because I'm putting them out hoping that people will take note. But the problem now is, because we've left it too long, and this is something I've been preaching for the last 15 years, we can't go out on the street. You can't protest. It's almost impossible. So unless there's a force majeure, unless there's an act of God, unless there's something to tip up this apple cart on dry land, we're all going to be struggling around doing things like posting videos. So I don't know where it's going to go. All I know is that if they're allowed to continue their agenda in the direction it is going, the next scenario is going to be, they'll let you all out a little bit. They'll say they maybe let you out a little bit too early. They're going to switch on the G, and we'll see how that starts to go. All the Nightingale hospitals will then fill up. They'll say, we told you so. The only way through this now is, and we don't really want to do it, is for you to be lining up at the end of the street or in the local school or gym, getting pistol fed your dose of vaccine, which will hopefully then allow you to travel and do all the things that they wished you were still doing, because they are looking after your best interests and always have. But so that they know who's received the vaccine and who hasn't, then maybe they're going to have to tag you. You have to tag you or mark you in some way. And at the end of all of this, don't forget, they're keeping you spatially separated apart while the AI systems that are tracking you, not only from above, but on the ground, get organically bedded in to be able to follow your presence wherever you go. Because if you are 50 people in a cluster walking down the street, the AI systems that will monitor your every move can't establish at the moment whether you're 1 or whether you're 20 or whether you're 50. So the separation allows it all to bed in so they know. And the 3s in the family can be much more easily than manually entered into the system and security tagged, so that once they do start moving, there's no problem with them assembling into groups of 50 so you can all be seen and detected. And now, as you will know, if you want to do anything that's maybe contrary to what the stated laws are for the government, let's say, of the UK or anywhere else for that matter at the moment, you've just got to drift out on the street, the camera will pick you up, and there'll probably be a policeman approaching you or a drone sent to task you within a few minutes. So that's why all the cameras you see were put up in the streets. This is why all the cameras are on the buildings, because they had a plan and the agenda and they knew when they were going to use it. It wasn't for football crowds. It wasn't for Tommy Robinson marches in central London or protests against XYZ. It wasn't for that. It was for now. So no matter where you go, where you drive, who you want to see, now you're being flagged up and you stick out like a sore thumb. So people, please do what you want with the video. I would suggest you download it right quick, because I can see they're probably going to take it down. However, I am making a statement here. I said it at the beginning, I'm saying it in the middle, and I'm saying it at the end. All of you politicos, all of your people in positions of responsibility, whether it's in the American Association of Doctors, whether it is in the British Medical Association, whether you are a captain of industry within the National Health Service, no matter whether you're in the police or the police constabulary, whether you're a senior officer in the constabulary, a chief of police officer, you are perpetrating the hoax, whether you know it or not. If you're negligent about it, that's just as bad. We don't care. You can't raise plausible deniability, and you're not going to be able to raise the Nuremberg defense that I was only obeying orders. Gone, finished. When Nuremberg 2 comes along, when we expose this hoax for what it is, all of you that are the mouthpieces of the establishment, all of you are acting as the mouthpieces of the World Health Organization, the Center for Disease Control, for the Bill Gates lobby, for Big Pharma, and all you doctors out there. If you do not come out and start calling this as it is, a medical hoax, which has got no medical or scientific or virological parentage for the claims that are being made now openly by you and your group, then you are as bad as the people who will be doing the vaccination injections, or the people who are going to be rounding people up who defer or refuse to actually accept what supposedly is coming. So I've just got some gendarmes at the back of me here. They just turned up, and as you can see, we have some gendarmes here, and I'm just going to have to stop this video now. So load it up and let's see where we go from here. Okay, it just shows you, yeah, we've been out for about 15 minutes and we've been stopped. You know, it's just welcome to Auschwitz 2.0, folks. This is what it's about. You go. Yeah? Okay.